This video is about GLOOP, a Scratch 1.4 modification, and it's a mod that have made an attempt to add programming languages to connect with other programming languages like Python and even C. But of course, it didn't turn out to work out. So it has been made into a much lesser scale. Anyway, there are 4 categories which are added, of course, and so let's just check from the top to bottom as usual as we do. And also it's kind of weird about the creepy looking sprite over there, and these are for the credits of the users who helped to make the program. This one is added by me, it's not like a default thing which is there when you open it. So let's just get the mesh. Mesh is the usual thing. Mesh is kind of usual in most of the mods. Of course, it's from the Scratch 1.4 beta as well. I think the code has been hidden or something. Okay, other than that, there's no change in the rest of the interface. Interface means the things over here. So let's just check the block palette out now, as we have checked everything else. And also I think so we can see this thing. Oh, why am I getting this back? We can see that this thing has been made much more smaller, means the top one, means the menu bar, it has been made into a menu bar rather than being more thicker. Anyway, let's continue. So in motion blocks you can see that there's shelf rotation style. This can change the rotation style of your sprite. Means if you came here, you can see the change that it has moved to here. That's what is the thing about rotation style. This will report the rotation style you're having in now being in. And if you try to rotate in normal mode, it will rotate, but when you change to the left to right mode, actually you can even do it manually over here, but this is for the physical way of doing the things. This can only turn from left to right only, and there's no other motion happening. So anyway, we have checked this rotation out. So let's go to the controls. In the controls we can see pause and say something is there. So let's just try this block and see. Saying is for the dialogue in the between. If you did like that, it's for the dialogue in the between, and this is for the title. This is totally optional. If you want, you can just follow that, or just don't do it. It's your own wish. Okay, that's what is the thing that's coming out. If you want, you can do it. I'm not saying forcing you to. And this one would report the broadcasts if you receive a particular broadcast. So just create a new broadcast called message. So you can check if this is received, which is known as, let's just take this out and take this out. You can check if message is being received or not. So once you broadcast this, it says false. Okay, let us put into a variable so that we could see more easily, because variables, if you store it in a variable, it will of course report true or false only. Okay, it's not a change over there, it's more like a set. So, or else, okay, I need forever loop there. For testing this thing, I'm just putting it like that. I don't know if you know these things, but I'm just teaching you again. I think this video is much more briefer. So report true when broadcast, and when not broadcast, it will not report true, it will report false. And here also there are some special scripts like reverse, which would do things in reverse. Like if you're like this, say hello, then be like okay, then be like bye. And if you're putting this into this script and even putting it in the flag, if you, it's optional to put in flag. I'm just gonna be putting it this time. This would do it in the reverse order, like bye first it's reading, then okay, then hello, and that's what it's doing. Scramble means it will totally become random. Okay, let me just add another things like let me just add something like that in between. So putting this in between of scramble, it's not going to be reversing it or even running it as normal. It will be totally randomly saying all these things from here. First it's saying bye, then how are you, then okay, then hello. I don't know, maybe it's by luck. But if you click it again, okay, they didn't change the code. Okay, you can see it's just saying it randomly now. Okay, you can see it's saying it randomly. Bye, hello, how are you? Okay, that's how it randomly says. I know it's a coincidence in the beginning. Anyway, and then there's also run, which would run it in the normal way. And you can also make other sprites to do a particular thing. Imagine your stage is having something like, let's create some copy of this thing. Let's create a copy of the background one. I don't know if it's creating because, okay, I'm going to be painting it totally in black. That's what I'm doing. And this is unfortunately not a transparent image. I thought it was a transparent image anyway. So we can make other objects to as well change. You can see it influences. I thought it would influence other objects. Okay, it doesn't work like that. How can I say that? I don't know. Maybe change the color effect would work perfectly, but not with this color because it's white and black, which would not work. Let me just copy this thing and just delete this thing and just be like, okay, I choose some color like yellow. Okay, yellow is bright. Okay, let's just check this out and see. Actually, will this work? You can see it's influencing other sprites, but of course the reporters are like trying to log things down, but I think it's trying to influence other things, but it will not work as intended. Or you can even set this thing to a particular number like 150. You can make other things to do it, but it's not going to be permanent because you can see it's stuck in the same place only, even though it's not changing the reporter. I think it's a bug or something. It should change the reporter. Anyway, you can make it to go to the previous costume as well. If it has a previous costume, actually it doesn't have one. Anyway, I'm just making it have something because I don't want it to look like something evil or something. Okay, let me just make a comma version of this. Okay, this guy looks kind of, I don't know, freaked out or something. Anyway, we can go to the previous costume or the next costume. That's how you can do things. You can change costume by a particular number. If you have lots of costumes, you can check the costume number, or the total number of costumes you have. This is the costume number, while this is the number of costumes you have. You can also draw a costume using the blocks like that. And then you can check some things like your size. There's a reporter for size, there's a reporter for height and width of the image. You can see the height and width of the image is kind of same only, 124 by 132. You can check if it's hidden, but this is a spelling mistake, of course. If it's showing, it will say false. If it's hiding, it will say true. So that's how it works. And you can do a horizontal flip or a vertical flip. Actually, vertical flip, I don't know what it's doing. I think it's changing the image itself. You can see it's changing the image itself. That's how it works here. And you can also go back one layer or go forward one layer. Forward one layer is new. There's even a layer checker as well. In sensing, we can see no changes. And in sound, there's something called beep, but I don't know for which operating system will beep work. Maybe for macOS or something. Anyway, let's just continue. You can see the operators also has a version of drop down over here. If you want, you can also use the normal ones here. It's totally optional. It's totally optional for you guys to use anything. And this thing has lots of negative things like NAND, NOR. Actually, I don't know that much about XOR because I don't use these things much, so I don't ever remember about XOR and all. I think maybe if I study my programming lesson again, maybe I will learn it. I just forgot what is the meaning of XOR because I never used it that much. And of course, there is a if reporters over here. If this is true, it will do this thing. Else, it will do this thing over here. Means still report true and false only. But this thing is a reporter. It could be used inside a say block, like in the form of like checking if a variable is equal to 0. Like imagine like my variable is equal to. Let me just do it a little bit faster. I wish I could do a little more faster anyway. and this replace that hello with 0. You can say it's 0, but if you're changing the variable by 1, it will become 1, so it will say not 0. If you change it once more, also it will say the same thing, not 0. This could be used for a reporter like that, but this could be used to store in a variable as well, but I'm using it in the say block, so it will be more visible. And this is this is kind of similar, but it will report true and false. It will check the condition itself, means first it will check a condition, or I could just again say like it's more like a if else, but with one more if else inside of it. And here if it's in the else, it will report false, or if it's over here, it will report true. Means first it will check the condition, then it will check if the condition is true, it will check this condition, otherwise it will check this condition over here, and within this condition, if the first one is true and the second one is false. That's how it occurs, but I don't know if you understand it. Maybe I should visually demonstrate it, but I'm not going to be doing it because this thing is kind of what I don't have that time to test this out that much. And then you have all these things over here. I don't know why is this thing even existing. Error to just report an error, whatever it is. And then there's even a pen reporter which is new, which will check if the pen is down. If your pen is down, it will say true. If your pen is up, it will say false. And you can see you can move your variable anywhere you want. I think this is taken from some bingo or something. I don't remember where it's taken from. Anyways, it's kind of a cool feature where you can move your variable to wherever you want using blocks. Let's just make a list to just in case it has something new, but of course I believe there's nothing new. Yeah, there's nothing new over here. And in physics, it's kind of weird, but this is going to be using some Pythagoras theorem or something to predict the speed. Anyway, I'm not sure if I'm right or wrong. This will detect the speed, but of course it's not detecting the direction towards which it's moving. Okay, okay, just detecting the speed over there. And bearing, I don't know anything about bearing that much, but anyway, let's just check this out and see how it works. Okay, it detects the angle or something. That's what it's meant. Okay, this detects the direction of the motion, and this will detect the speed. Now I understand the meaning of bearing over there. This can be done with the X, with the speed and bearing. I don't know, this could be used in useful platformer or physics projects, but I think maybe it has some workarounds, of course, but little bit longer. Then you can turn on turbo mode. Turbo mode is useful for pen projects because they do things much more faster. That's the reason why turbo mode is more advantageous in these cases. I think so you know what's a turbo mode, but if you don't know, I'm just doing it for you. Of course you can skip this part, it's your own wish. I don't know why I'm explaining this much today, but anyway, it's kind of interesting. Maybe that could be the reason. So if you enable turbo mode there, you can draw a square. Like, I don't know, this sprite is too big, so just remove these things and just copy this. I mean, we can paint one thing. I'll just put a dot. So it doesn't make any sense, but it's just a dot. Let me just take my first go out, and I don't know. Yeah, that's suitable. You can see it does it immediately, but if it is in a turbo mode off, it's gonna do it. You can see it is slightly slower than before. And then there's also several other stuffs over here. Means you can manually on this and off this in a different parts of the project, because this is just, I mean, not manually, this is automatically. That's what I coming to mean. This is the IP address. Oh, this is gonna be, because these things just slow down my processing. You can check if you're hosting mesh. If it's false, you can host a mesh. You can close GLOOP. I don't know what is this even block. This block is for what, I don't know. I don't know even if you can put this into anywhere, because I don't think so. It's going to be very, I mean, it's useful, but I don't know where they're going to use this thing. Means like if you're doing something like that, I don't understand what is there. Anyway, this could be used in some other, I think this was meant to be used in somewhere else. Run this. I don't know what is it running over here. Anyway, I didn't understand the point of this. If I understand something about this, of course I'll say something. Is this about numbers or something? Okay, I didn't understand what it's coming to say. Maybe you could use it on something else. Maybe they thought it will be used for something else. Squeak code here. Okay, this is a Squeak code block. I don't know much about Squeak, but I think so. I remember the simple hello world thing over there. Transcript show is to, oh sorry, a single quotation mark over there. Okay, I just put something like that. I think there should be spacing over here, if I'm right. Okay, I got it, something like that. Actually, if I click this, as you can see, nothing is happening. But if you need to see that what is happening, actually I only know the basic hello world program, so we can do more things, but I'm just going to be showing this basic thing over here. Just exiting the user mode so that I could see my transcript. I know there are much easier things, but means easier visible things, but they're more complicated to execute. You can see it's printing in hello world, but yeah, you can click it how much ever times you want. I don't know how do they clear this thing off, because I didn't learn that much on Squeak. I think I learned it, but I forgot it slightly. Means I just learned it very little and I just forgot it. Anyways, let's get back to the user mode as usual by clicking enter user mode. There's a Squeak reporter over here as well. As you can see, this is Squeak reporter block, but I don't know what code you put here. Of course, not the same code which I put over here, because this thing is just for the reporter and this is a boolean block. Anyways, I think that's all I can say about this mod, and yeah, and I hope